Hey guys, this is gonna be a different type of video. I'm going to be doing an audiobook. Hell yeah. Now I know what you all may be wondering. Oh my god, books, he must be such a fucking nerd. Well, no, I am not. I hate books. But this one is quite the exception. Now you don't need the book to be able to follow along. You can just listen to my soothing voice, as Echo has told me. So, this is Invisible by Pete Hautman. It's a book about, how can I really explain this without being all spoilery? It's a book about two boys, Doug and Andy. And they're going to high school, and they just try and make it through. Now, I know that might sound really fucking boring, but you know that if I like the book, then there has to be something fucking more to it. So, God, okay, so, just follow along and try and listen to context clues, because this book has many, many twists. Alright, so, here we go. Invisible, written by Pete Hautman. Chapter 1, My Best Friend. Oh, by the way, we're going to be doing like 5 chapters at a time, since chapters are like 2 pages long. Alright, enough interruptions. Let's go. Chapter 1, My Best Friend. There's something about trains. The sound they make, the way they go by. One car after another, after another, after another. Every car different, but somehow the same. And tracks go on forever, connecting places, connecting people. Wherever you are, you could go to the nearest railroad track right now, and if you followed it long enough, you could find me. There's another thing you need to know about trains. They are large and dangerous. They would crush you if they could, but they are confined to 2 narrow strips of steel. Trains are like fire. You don't want to get in their way. My grandfather left me his HO scale model railroad when he passed on. 1 locomotive, 7 cars, 16 feet of track. That's another reason I like trains. They connect me to him, wherever he is. You could say that my railroad, the Madham Line, is almost the most important thing in my life. Next to Andy Morrow, my best friend. A guy like Andy might have more than one best friend. He is so popular that there are at least 5 kids at school who could probably claim him. But if you asked Andy who's his best friend was, he would say, Dougie Hansen, of course. And then he would, and that would be me. Sorry, I'm not good at reading. I'm a quiet kid, pretty much invisible, except if you happen to notice me staying next to Andy. We grew up together, Andy and me. Next door, actually. We met at the age of 1 year and 3 months. Our birthdays are only 17 days apart. We're like Velcro. Two pulls of magnet, a peanut butter and jelly, like super glue. We are best friends by every definition. Best friends. Best friends. It doesn't matter to Andy Morrow that I have crooked teeth and poor coordination and wear stupid clothes. It wouldn't matter if I had a nose like a pig and smelled of Limburger cheese, and he would still say Dougie is my best friend. True, Andy might spend more time with other kids who claim to be his best friend. He might hang out with their football players, and his friends on the student council, and his golfing friends, and his theater friends. But he always comes home at night and opens his bedroom window, calls out across the low picket fence, "Hey Dougie." And if my window is open, and if I'm awake, we talk. It does not matter that we don't spend as much time together as we used to. I tell Andy all about the new tank car I bought for the Madham Line. I might talk about my mother's latest crossword puzzle, or a book I read about black holes, or a math test I took in school, and Andy would listen. That's what best friends do. And if Andy wants to talk about the school play he's starring in, or his latest football game, or a girl he met, I'll listen to him too. It does not matter to Andy that we live in completely different realities. I'm Andy's best friend. It does not matter to Andy that we hardly ever actually do anything together. Why should it? We are best friends, me and Andy. Best friends. Chapter 2, Stella. My full and proper name is Douglas MacArthur Hansen. I am named after Douglas MacArthur, the famous general, as the second cousin of my father's great aunt. Everyone on my father's side is named after some famous person we are supposedly related to. My father's name is Henry Clay Hansen. Henry Clay was a politician who died before the Great War. He was my grandfather's cousin's great uncle, or something like that. It goes on and on. Since my grandfather's name was George Washington Hansen, I guess I'm related to the father of our country, too. Anyway, I'm glad I got named after a general instead of a politician. I think it makes me sound more respectable. Usually when I meet someone for the first time, I tell them my full and proper name, then I say, but you can call me General. Some people find that amusing. Andy always laughs. Sometimes he calls me General just to tease me. I don't mind. I kind of like it. I am very easy to get along with. My mother would not agree with that. She finds me difficult. In fact, she thinks I'm troubled and disturbed. I find it troubling that she finds me disturbing, so she must be right. Right? Hey, Dougie. I look at my alarm clock. 1:17. Dougie, you up? I roll out of bed and crawl to the window. I'm up now, I say, resting my chin on the windowsill. How's it going? Andy's sitting in his window, his long legs dangling over the spiry bushes. I was dreaming. What were you dreaming? I don't remember. Hey, was tonight your play? Yeah, it was great. I didn't miss a line, but you're not gonna like this. Melissa's skirt came off. Melissa Haverman? Yeah, see, I'm Stanley Kowalski, and Melissa is playing Stella, my wife. And in this one scene, she's really mad. She spins around fast, and the bottom of her skirt gets caught in the nail sticking out of the table leg, and it comes right off. He laughs. She's wearing blue panties. I have a very vivid imagination. I can see in my head just like a movie. Andy says, but she was really cool. She grabbed the skirt and pulled it back up and just kept going on with the scene. The audience didn't even laugh or anything. You should have been there. I don't really like plays, I say. A bunch of people talking about nothing. Well, you will like this one. You should have heard Melissa after the play. She was so mad at the guy in charge of props, I thought she'd rip his face off. So what did you do today? Still working on my bridge. I'm connecting East Madham to West Madham with an 11-foot long suspension bridge. I've been working on it for months. It's really quite amazing. How's it going? I finally got the towers built. The entire bridge is scratch built from matchsticks, string, and glue. Andy always teases me about that. Aren't you afraid it's going to catch fire? We laugh. Andy and I had some bad luck with fires when we were kids. We're more careful now. I always scrape the phosphorus tip off all the matchsticks before using them. I have scraped the heads off 112 boxes of matchsticks. There are 200 matchsticks in the box. In case you're slow at math, that's 22,400 matches in all. I figure a bridge will be ready for its inaugural crossing in about 3 weeks. Everyone in Madham will be there. You want to come? Sure. Of course, that bit about everybody in Madham is kind of a joke, because the people who live in Madham are made of plastic, and they're less than 1 inch tall. Madham is the name of an HO-scale railroad town I built in my basement. It covers 3 ping pong tables and nearly fills the biggest room in the basement. Madham has 109 buildings, all scratch-built. There are 2 lakes, a football stadium, a cement plant, a hospital, 2 tunnels, a forest, 60 feet track. It has a population of 289 plastic people, 17 dogs, 6 cows, and 11 horses. Madham is the perfect town. In fact, one of my goals is to live in Madham. Once I figure out how to make a few $1 million, I'll build a full-scale version of the town with real trains and real trees and real people. I think it would be a nice place to live. I've been working on Madham for 2 years and 11 months now. I guess you could say that I'm not only disturbed, I'm obsessed. Chapter 3. Focus. My ability to focus on one thing at a time is the secret to my success. Other people do not have this talent. Let me tell you, I once peeled an entire bag of tangerines, 17 of them, using only my fingernails, without losing 1 drop of juice. I lined up the peeled tangerines on the kitchen counter, and they were as beautiful as any work of art. Mrs. Felco, my art teacher, would not agree with that. She and I have quite different tastes, but I thought they were quite beautiful. The special things I do are not always appreciated by my mother. She was upset about the tangerines, but I still remember them, beautiful, naked, and soft orange on green formica. I'm like that with school assignments too. That is, if the assignment interests me. I was once assigned to build a model windmill for science class. I made it out of popsicle sticks, thread, wax paper, copper wire. It actually worked. Math is also easy for me. It's all about focus and concentration. It is about doing exactly one thing at a time. Andy understands the importance of focus. He knows how to focus when he is about to get hit with a golf ball, or when he is on stage in a play, or on the football field. Andy is a ferocious focuser, but he's not as good at it as I am. I can sit and watch a blade of grass grow. Andy, he can't do that for more than 5 minutes before he gets up all lidgy and has to do something. Andy is a doer. Doing things is what he does. One day, this was 4 years ago, Andy and I decided to build a treehouse in Peanut Woods. We call it Peanut Woods because it's right behind the Skippy Peanut Butter Factory, and it always smells like peanut butter. Peanut Woods is not a very good woods. It's big enough, about 16 acres in size, but the ground is squishy and swampy. And except for a few cottonwoods, there's not a lot of big trees, and in summer, the mosquitoes can be ferocious. Andy and I used to go there when we were kids and build campfires. Andy was very good at fires. He never needed more than one match, starting a few scrapes of paper, leaves, slender twigs. He would slowly feed it larger twigs, then broken branches, then logs. The smoke kept the mosquitoes away. We would sit for hours, talking and watching the flames. One big old cottonwood near the center of the woods was the perfect treehouse tree. The trunk went up for 25 feet, then 3 huge branches sprouted from a single bulbous crotch. We found a pile of old crates and pallets behind the Skippy factory. Andy borrowed a saw, a hammer, a couple boxes of nails, and some nylon rope from his dad's workshop, and we went to work. We started out by cutting steps from the pallets and nailing them to the trunk, 3 long nails per step. Once we made it up to the crotch, we set a pulley system to haul the boards up the tree. Andy stayed up there sawing and nailing while I stayed below and fed him fresh lumber. Most of the time, however, I worked on carving our initials into the trunk. AMDMH. It took me hours to carve those initials, but I think I did a remarkable job. I stripped off a rectangular section of bark, carefully outlined each layer with the tip of my pocket knife, then began to carve. I did not have a very good knife back then, just an old 2-blade jacket knife my father had given me, but I worked on those letters until each one was neat and straight and perfect. And all the while Andy was up there swaying and pounding and every now and then shouting, "Look out below," when he was about to drop something. It took us 2 days to build the treehouse. It was 3-sided, like a wedge of cheese, with a door in one wall, a window in each of the others, and the ceiling just high enough that we could stand up. We covered the floor with carpet samples. We found some wooden chairs and a table someone had thrown out. By the time we were done, it was I'm so sorry. I need glasses. I'm being serious. Anyhow, sorry to take you out of it. By the time we were done, it was like a little triangle-shaped apartment. The treehouse was a great place to hang out. Nobody knew about it but us. A few months ago, Andy and I have visited the old cottonwood. The treehouse is just a few charred, broken, rotten boards stuck way up in the branches. But you can still read our initials on the trunk, just as clear and pretty as the day I carved them. Andy thinks that's funny. He worked a whole day building the treehouse while I just carved our initials. But only the initials survived. That's all you need to know about focus. If you can take your time and do a job right, it can last forever. Chapter 4. Logic. My father owns 7 identical gray suits, 15 identical white dress shirts, 3 pairs of brown shoes, and 20 silk ties. Every tie is red and blue stripes, but they are all different stripe patterns. Every year for his birthday, I try to find a new variety of red and blue striped silk tie. It can be quite challenging. One year I made a mistake and bought a tie exactly like the one he had already owned, but he was happy to get it because the old one had a coffee stain. My father loves his suits. He even wears them on weekends. He wears a suit and tie to mow the lawn. Although if it is really hot out, he will take off his jacket and roll up the shirt sleeves. Our neighbors find this strange, but many of their behaviors are also quite interesting. Mr. Ness, for example, likes to get drunk and play his electric guitar in his garage and sing old Rolling Stones songs. I find that very strange indeed. Like me, my father is extremely intelligent. He's a professor at the university. He has written 14 books about economics. You can actually go into a bookstore and see several of his books on the shelf. And by the way, he has a very good reason for always wearing a suit. He says that he has so many decisions to make on his work that he has no time to make decisions about every day about trivial matters, just what he wears. Sorry, lads, I need a drink of water. Hope you are enjoying this. Yeah, I don't think this is as much as a traditional book reading as it is just background noise. But hey, SMR was still a thing that got requested, so this might not be very whispery, but still, I think it's pretty good. Alright, where were we? We were at... You can actually go into a bookstore and see several of his books on the shelf. And by the way, he has a very good reason for always wearing a suit. He says that he has so many decisions to make in his work that he has no time to make decisions every day about trivial matters, such as what he wears. He wears the same thing every day, so he never has to think about it. It makes perfect sense when you think about it logically. My father leaves the house at 7:08 every morning. He walks 7 blocks to the bus stop, where he boards the number 14 bus, which delivers him to the door of Case Hall at the university. He does not drive his car to work. He says cars are wasteful and unnecessary. You might disagree with that, but I advise you not to argue the point with my father. One day, I went to work with him and watched what he did all day. I listened to him lecture about economics. It was highly enlightening. One thing that surprised me was how energetic and happy he seemed while he was lecturing. He even made some funny jokes, which he never does at home. My father is normally very quiet and polite, as long as you don't argue with him. If you argue with him, he will become very loud. He has been known to shout. Every now and then, he will have a disagreement with my mother. He makes his case in a highly logical and mostly indisputable fashion. For instance, a couple months ago, they disagreed about buying a new sofa. My father was against it. He presented his argument, his voice increasing in volume with each point. We don't need a new sofa, Andra. First, our existing sofa is perfectly adequate. It is both comfortable and attractive. Second, a new sofa would cost several $100s or more. Our financial resources are finite. Third, by discarding the existing sofa, we would be contributing to the ever-increasing mass of human waste products that is taking over the surface of our planet. Furthermore, I see no reason why we should have to go to the time and trouble to get used to a new piece of furniture that we do not need. By the time he delivered the last line, he was red-faced and pounding his left palm with his right fist. My mother is used to father's hyperlogical rages. She simply smiled and said, "I understand, dear." The next afternoon, while my father was at work, a truck from Wick's Furniture arrived to our house. 2 men carried a new sofa into our living room. They removed the old sofa and added it to the ever-increasing mass of human waste products that is taking over the surface of our planet. That night, when my father arrived home, he walked right past the new sofa without seeming to notice anything different. In fact, he hasn't said a word about the sofa since. Maybe he's choosing to ignore it, or maybe he's simply oblivious. Either way, I'm sure he has a very logical reason for his position. Chapter 5. Secrets. Best friends have secrets. Andy and I are no exception. Of course, I can't really discuss all of our secrets, because if I did, they would no longer be secrets. But I can tell about this one thing, because we got caught, so it is a secret no more. It's an ex-secret. The secret I'm talking about, the secret that isn't a secret anymore, has to do with the Tuttle place on Redbud Road. Miss Tuttle, who was 96 years old at the time, died a few years ago. Andy and I were 13. Sorry. Andy and I were 13. After she died, her son Jack cleaned out her house and put up a for sale sign. Every now and then, somebody would look at the house, but it had so many problems that no one wanted to buy it. The roof was rotten. The foundation was collapsing, the plumbing was rusty and leaky, and there were bats in the attic. Also, it was way down at the end of Redbud Road with no other houses in sight. The total place had been stale for almost a year the day Andy and I broke in. It was a chilly, breezy early spring afternoon. Andy and I were walking and talking the way we always did. I was wearing a light windbreaker, and I was cold. We were walking by a tow place when Andy noticed a window that hadn't been closed all the way. Let's go in and check it out, he said. Maybe it was me who said it. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was me. We climbed in through the window. It was warmer inside. The sun was slanting and hard through the windows. The rooms were bright and clean and empty. Jack Tuttle had gotten rid of most of the furniture, refinished the wood floors to a pale golden yellow, and painted all the walls bright white. Kill me. I guess they thought maybe people would overlook the roof and the plumbing if the paint was fresh. Andy and I wandered through the echoey spaces, a forbidden kingdom, clean and white and separate from the world. After we explored the whole house, we sat down in the middle of the biggest room in the house and talked for hours. While we talked, I carved a design in the maple floor next to the big stone fireplace. When Andy and I find a place that's important to us, we like to leave our mark. Maple is a very hard wood and difficult to carve, but I'm very focused and I always finish what I start. The design I carved that afternoon is gone now, but I still remember its lines and curves as if I had carved it yesterday. I had been working on it in my head for a long time. It became our sign, our secret mark, our sigil. In case you can't see it for yourself, the design contains Andy's and my initials. Still can't see it? Here's what it looks like separated. Here are the parts that they have in common. Can't you see it? It looks like two people sitting in the campfire, me and Andy. I'm the one on the left because I have low body temperature and like to sit closer to the flames. Anyways, as I mentioned, as far as teleplace goes, our secret didn't last. But I don't really feel like talking about that right now. And we are done. I'm so sorry that was a train wreck. If you want to get the full impact from the book, my audio commentary, whatever the fuck, is not a good example to go by at all. What you should do is go out and find the book by yourself. Like, it's a book that they show in schools. Like, I found out about the book when my old English teacher actually showed it to us. So I would recommend asking your teachers if they have the book in stock. It's by Pete Hautman. Anyhow, that's going to be it for part 1. Next, we're going to be reading chapter 6 to 10. So, love all. See you next time.